Good morning and welcome to another Friday. And as you can see, I've chosen to come outside because it is the most glorious morning. The weather hasn't been so good this year, I don't think, so far. Certainly where we are, it's been a bit chilly round the edges. But today really is a fantastic Friday morning, and just give thanks for the lovely spring and the growth of all the leaves and the plants, etc, etc. Just a beautiful time of year. So I hope you've had a good week. We certainly have here, and things are looking good for choirs. Generally, more and more choirs are starting back. I notice on social media, if tentatively at times. Cathedral choirs are getting back now, but a lot of parish church choirs seem to be starting back. At St Mary's, we've now got 2 weeks of choral evensong under our belt. Last week went really well, and augurs well for the future. And as I've said on numerous occasions, I hope it won't be too long before our friends from our Come and Sing evensongs can join us again, and we can really get back to some great music making together. But unfortunately, we've still got to wait a little time yet, but we'll keep you posted on that. Details of all the services for this week are on our website, www.swanageteam.com, and also just to remind you that next Thursday is Ascension Day, and so there'll be a service at St Mary's at 7:30, but the details of everything, including the music list, are all on the website. Now, last week, in my eagerness to get through my ramble, I forgot to mention some crazy facts, bizarre facts that I've been doing, interesting facts. So I've got 3 facts for you today of no importance at all, just quirky. The first one is about Dvorak, Anton Dvorak, wonderful composer. He lived near a railway station, and he was a train spotter. He loved spotting trains, marking them all down in a book and cataloguing them. That's what Dvorak did when he wasn't writing. Second crazy fact, an experiment was held on spiders, and scientists were looking to see how they reacted to music. And when they played pop music to spiders, rock and roll, the spiders went doo-dah-lally and just pretty bonkers and wouldn't settle. When they played Bach, the spiders settled down and were very content. What does that say? Spiders like Bach, maybe? Who knows? And the last bizarre fact for this week, did you know that Beethoven, when he conducted his 9th symphony, which he did, he conducted the first performance of his 9th symphony, he was so deaf that he didn't hear one note of it, conducted it all without hearing any of it. Sad but true. So there you go, a few crazy facts for you. So to my suggestion for what you might listen to this week, and this suggestion is a little way out, and this will certainly test your musical tastes. We're still in a period of celebration through Easter, the period following Easter, and as I've just mentioned, we're coming up to Ascension. And so I thought something very joyful would be wonderful. So I'm going to point you to a French Mass. Fairly recently we listened to the Kyrie from Vienne's Messe Solennelle. Today it's the turn of the French organist Jean Longley, who wrote a number of masses. In fact, he was an incredibly prolific composer, but he wrote this Mass, the Messe Solennelle, and this is what I'm going to suggest that you listen to this week. Longley was in that great line of French organist teachers, improvisers, amazing organist. He was the organist at Saint-Clotilde in Paris, where César Franck had been the organist, and he was the organist there for over 44 years, I think, something like that. Oh, somebody's coming up the path. Hang on a second. Sorry about that, just some walkers, and my guard dog was just checking on them, my little Jack Russell. Oh, there she goes again. She's just checking they've gone. Anyway, Jean Longley, where was I? Yes, he was blind from birth, well, from about 2 years old, And he was one of those amazing organists who could just play without looking at copy or anything like that. He was an incredible improviser, and he's left us with some amazing pieces of organ music. Often his music is based on Gregorian chant, so has a sort of modal feel to it. I remember as a student, music student, back in the 1970s, a friend and I went to Paris, and we went to Saint Clotilde for the Mass, and we asked whether, it was in January and it was freezing cold, and we asked whether Monsieur Longley was playing, and was told he was, and the person who we spoke to said, "Do you want to go up into the organ loft?" Which we didn't expect, so we said yes. So he took us up, and there was the maestro sitting there. I just remember this, with a thick coat and a big hat on, playing for the Mass, dark glasses. I don't know what the dog's doing now. Anyway, so that was an extraordinary experience, and just to hear him actually live. Anyway, the Messe Solennelle is one of my favourite pieces, and I want you to listen to the Sanctus first, and I'm directing you to a performance from Gloucester Cathedral, because the organ in Gloucester is just wonderful for Longley, very brash and abrasive. And the Sanctus is one of the most exciting settings of Holy, Holy, Holy I've ever heard. It sort of has this build-up on the organ, and then the choir come crashing in with the most celebratory Sanctus. And at the end of the movement, it's a very short movement, it's only an ossia, so it's an alternative, but Longley suggests that the boys go up to high C, top C, and on this recording from Gloucester you hear them go up to top C. So listen to that first and see what you think. Listen to it a couple of times. I think Longley, this Mass works best of all live rather than recorded. You sort of need to sense it. But have a listen to that. And then listen to the Gloria. The Gloria is wonderful. Again, and that does have a sort of modal sense to it. And it's another one in the setting of two organs. There's a choir organ which accompanies the choir, and then the grand orgue would come in at the west end, and so you hear those bits, the big organ bits. So listen to that recording, and then I'm also going to just point you to a YouTube recording from St. John the Divine in New York with the Gloria, and in this one the choir is accompanied by brass. It just gives you a sense of the occasion. The cathedral's full, in those days when they were allowed to, back in 2019, but it just gives you a sense of the atmosphere as well. I remember when I was at Salisbury, we used to do the Messe Solennelle, but it was it really polarised people's opinions. And I do remember once a dear old lady coming up to me one day after we'd sung it and telling me we should never ever sing that piece again, because she said it was the music of the devil. Now I think when you listen to it, you'll know where she's coming from, and I think you either love it or loathe it. Maybe there's not a halfway house, but see what you think. Longley Messe Solennelle, Sanctus first, then the Gloria. Let me know. Good. Right, well I think as I'm standing out here and I've got the sun on my face, as long as nobody else comes past to embarrass me, why don't we do a little bit of singing out here? So I'm nice and comfortable, I'm relaxed, my knees are not locked, I'm just wiggling my knees. I'm having a little stretch. Oh, that feels very good. I'm going to just roll my shoulders today. Roll my shoulders one way, and I'm going to roll my shoulders the other way. A couple of times, and one more that way. Good. A little stretch there, a little stretch there. Is this a singing warm-up or is this a PE lesson? So, siren. Good. And let's start nice and low. Ooh, 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 ee, 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 ah. ah, ah. Okay, and shall we do our blue car? See blue car, 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 see blue car. Okay, and the next one. See blue car, 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 see blue car. And the next one. See blue car, 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 see blue car. And another one. See blue car, 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 see blue car. And one more. See blue car, 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 see blue car. Excuse me. And let's just do some triads. I have to cough again. So we just go ah, 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 It's about as high as I can get at 9:30 on a Friday morning. Hope that helped. Get out there in the sunshine and enjoy it. I hope to see a good number of you this evening at choir practice, and for our other friends, I hope it won't be too long before I see you again. But in the meantime, stay safe and have a lovely week.